means I love you. Welcome to the Nyumba Upendo show. That's the House of Love on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 AM. I am Kweku Dr.Alisia.
Hey, and I'm Dr.Alisia Moutry.
Hey, we're your hosts for the show, but we couldn't do this without my main man, Jermaine Rideout.
Hey, Jack.
And without the Q dog, even though we in the red today, Brother Byron.
I'll show the red. It's okay.
Hey, you know, that's how we do. Yeah, that's for the Deltas. That's the love for the
There
Deltas.
we go.
I
There
see
we
how
go.
you do,
There
dog.
we go. There we go.
Hey, no, you know what? It's a beautiful day, but you know, we cannot start the show without
can't
those
start it.
P and P's. And people say, what's the P and P? Well, it's in the tradition of our ancestors. We must get permission from the elders to speak. And that's just saying that level of respect. You know, sometimes I think we get that wrong in the real world where they say kids should be, you know, seen and not heard. But what it was is like, if I see the elders in the room before I approach, let me give them the respect. And if I'm going to speak, let them prepare the floor for me. So we've gotten that permission. And that second P is a prayer. We've gotten a prayer for our mother. And this was a beautiful prayer because it wasn't just for us, but we got something special for you today. I'm going to tell you in a little bit, but you're going to see why that prayer was so extra special. Dr. Moutry, what you got for
the other
people
thing we
today?
do, typically we do our P and Ps, but then we also dedicate the show to someone.
Yes.
And so I get the honor today to dedicate the show to somebody that's near and dear to my heart. This Sunday, November 2nd, the city, we lost a good one. We lost Mr. Mark Anthony Sane.
It's a real one.
Mr. Sane has done so much for our community, not only as being one of the firefighters of the way. He wasn't only a firefighter, but he was the lieutenant within the fire department. And so he did that. And oh my goodness,
Milwaukee was so strong.
Absolutely. And then in addition to that, you know, I'm an educator, a lifetime educator. He spent many years on the Milwaukee Public School board. So you talk about service and you talk about the community.
After serving for the thing.
The second term of something, right? But giving back to the president
too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he did a lot. And so and then in addition to the work, he was a great husband. He was a great dad. I mean, he was a great grandfather. Yeah. And so I'm just giving a shout out to him, dedicating the show to him today. And I ask those in Milwaukee that are prayer warriors or those that believe in a higher power, I ask that you continue to keep his wife, Charlotte Sane, in prayer, his daughters, his grandchildren, many nieces and nephews. So again, shout out to the work that Mark Sane has done. And again, let's talk about, you know, you can do the work, but again, let your words speak, let your actions speak for you. And his actions absolutely have done that. Absolutely have done that. So, and then if I could just real quickly, just got a couple of public service announcements.
All right, we got to let the people know.
We got to let the people know some of the things that are going on. One of my D9 group of sisters, the Alpha Kappa Alphas, are hosting an annual party with a purpose. That's going to happen on Friday, November 21st, 2025. It hosts from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Denzen MKE. That address is 4227 West Valley. Know that the proceeds from the tickets, they support benefits and from scholarships and community programs. So again, Party with a Purpose, Friday, November 21st.
What is it, Rodeo Girls? What is it, Pretty in Pink? With rodeo
I'm not going that far. I don't know about that part. It said pretty and let me see, Pearls and Pretty Rodeo Girls.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's you got to say that fast a couple times. Pearls and Pretty Rodeo Girls. So again, annual Party with a Purpose. Check them out on Friday, November 21st from 5 to 9. And then secondly, we've got, and we know a lot about this, you know, in the audience, I'm sure there's a lot of folks that are being caretakers. We got a lot of caretakers in the world. There's an event happening. Alzheimer's Association, the Wisconsin chapter is hosting an event, and it's entitled Caring for the Caregivers. We give so much care to others, but who's caring for us, right, as the caregiver? So they're doing an event that's empowering for caregivers and really just continuing to think about them. That's happening on Saturday, November 8th from 10 to 3, and it's at the Palma Art Museum, the IPAMA Art Museum, 3200 West Hampton Avenue. That is on the 53209 zip code, and they're just going to be doing a lot of things from massages to vision boards to yoga.
What you need.
Absolutely. Gift bags, and you know what? You always talk about food and drinks and resources. Folks can be there.
How much that cost?
You know what? That one is free. So again, go ahead and get some care for the caregivers for free. Dr. Kweku, what else do we have going on today?
You know what though? It's funny that you say like caring for the caregivers, because you always wonder who helps the healers. Absolutely. And so when I think about me, you know, I'll go to a student minister, William Muhammad. He's a great support for me. You remember Brother Alfonso Watkins?
Yes, I do.
Oh my goodness, he's in Arizona now. That's a big loss that our community had. Sister Simone Kilgore, she's a friend to the show, a friend to the community.
Oh, yes.
And then there's this other lady named Dr. Lia Knox.
Ooh,
And so when you
my
start
girl.
talking about like who do you go to like for advice, for consultation, for
Yes.
people who understand exactly what you're going through the trenches, who've been in those trenches with you, who you've worked with before, Dr. Lia Knox is one of those people who I turn to quickly. And so I know today she's going to be our host for the show today. And we're going to be just ride along with her, if we will. And I know we're talking about like a time to heal, but I really want you to set it up and let the people know how you're going to navigate this next hour.
Absolutely. So, hey, everybody. Good morning. I'm Dr. Knox, and it's so good to be here with my big brother and my big sister, the most influential people I know, wanting to talk today about August 9th and August 10th, what that did to our communities, what it did to our streets. That storm came through with a vengeance, with a vengeance. To this day, you still see things outside of people's houses. You still see basements that aren't quite done. And you see people who really are not doing as well as they could because their mental wellness has been challenged. So I want to talk about what it has done, especially in the state of having less reserves now. We have the food and SNAP crisis going on. We also have the decrease in resources and the government shutdown. All of it is combined and has something to do with how we are going to not just survive, but thrive. So that's what we'll be talking about today. I will have my two wonderful folks here, Dr. Kweku and Dr. Alisia, who I'll be asking questions, but mainly I want to hear from you. Milwaukee, you are our heart, and we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, you know, when I think about that, sometimes in this news cycle, you hear about something and everybody just talking about like what happened in the election. And we tend to forget about some of the other things that happened. But obviously with Hurricane Melissa that's coming through in Jamaica, you know, that put it up. And then you say, oh, those horrible people, those storms, that horrible. And then I thought back to August 9th, like I'm still dealing with the aftermath of that. It was so much stuff going on. I forgot about my own things that I lost going on. So
and I was just going to say, and so as we talk about this, there's a lot of listeners in the audience that you may be dealing with the same thing as well, that you still have aftermath based upon August 9th. And feel free to call in at 414-444-5250 or 5253. Make sure you call in.
Absolutely. So with all that being said, we think back to Katrina and how we tried our best to help, but our hearts were with our people in New Orleans. And then came our flood, and then came Melissa. What are some of the things that happened? I can speak personally for myself. Every time it rains now, every time there's lightning, there's thunderstorms, I'm outside smelling the sea of water's coming. I'm also thinking, oh, I hope everything's okay down the basement. My legs have a mind of their own. They just go down. They go downstairs every 2 hours when it's raining, even if it's a light rain, just to see. At times I'll call my family. Is everything okay? How y'all doing? Go check your basement. What I do know for a fact is that as a result of trauma, a traumatic experience. Even if I didn't go through it myself, my neighbors did, my friends, my family did. And there's a possibility it may happen again. Possibly it may not, but it is a trauma response. And that anxiety comes on strong. However, trying to manage and maintain it has been a challenge, but it's been doable.
So, you know, that's the big thing that you talk about, like the triggers, the vicarious trauma. Like you say, man, I didn't have to go through it. But when I saw people and they were on the news and they were talking about all of the photo albums that they lost. And then when you heard like FEMA was not going to pay and it was like, they're going to give me this amount, but this amount was lost. Your heart goes out. You say, I wish that I could do something. You feel so helpless. But then to your point, you say, well, how do I feel about this? You'd be like, well, what if this happened to me where I was like devastated to that point? I think about what's in our basement. I'm like, and that would be half our thing. And it was like so much stuff would work. And then you got to start trying to prep, say, okay, I don't want to let this happen. So how can I learn from it? Because like you said, the waters is going to come again at some point.
Right. Yes. I was thinking, I didn't personally go through it like in our basement area, but I could tell you the trauma that I dealt with during the time. So I can like literally visualize leaving my home and driving down the street and seeing piles of stuff. So it wasn't me, but I saw the piles piles of articles, clothing, furniture. And then the one that hit me the
Yeah.
hardest, I know there's one neighbor, he's a foster dad and foster mom there. They had all of these toys that were outside the doll houses. And all I could do is just think like, I didn't go through, but I'm hurting
Oh yeah.
thinking about what
Yes.
they're going through. So every day that I would leave and come back, I'm waiting to see, are they going to pick this stuff up? Because I'm thinking how it's giving me trauma just seeing it. The owners of this stuff, all of these things that they've lost is sitting out there as a continuous reminder every day that this stuff is there, right? But then I thought, then when it got picked up, was that a reality? Like, oh my goodness, all of our stuff is gone. So
Yes.
for me, it was
Yeah.
a better, I said, it didn't remind me of what happened once it was picked up. But then I thought about them. They probably have even further traumas thinking like, man, now it hit for real. It's all
Yeah.
gone. So yeah, so
Exactly.
even though I didn't, I still suffered
Yeah.
some trauma experiences from that.
Absolutely. And same here. Our basement didn't get flooded, but our best friends, we were with them every single day.
Yeah.
And when they got flooded, they called. We talked to each other 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And so when we saw the remnants of what happened, we were like, oh my God. When I would go through the neighborhoods, because I do live in the city, some neighborhoods were hit harder than others.
Yeah.
We'll go 53218, 53209,
Yeah.
53216,
Come on.
53223. 53219,
Mm.
53225, the hardest hit. And if we really look at it and think about it, who lives in those neighborhoods and areas?
Yeah.
Us.
Overwhelmingly us.
We live there. Furniture, clothes, ruined photos, soggy mattresses, sitting on curbs weeks later, even to this day. The smell of mold, the sound of fans still humming in basements, or just simply not knowing what to do. And I'm just throwing this whole house away,
Yeah.
not knowing what
Just
to do.
frustrated. You know, the one thing that you talk about, like the trauma and the pain, the one thing that I remember uplifted my spirits was, you know, you looking on Facebook and everything like that. And I saw Montreal Kane.
Yes.
I saw Rashad Washington. I saw Aziz Abdullah. And I saw them saying, you know what? We got to wait for ourselves. If we wait for somebody else to help us, we can't do it. And what I saw them do was say, how can we help the people who are most vulnerable? Montreal said, you know what, my house is messed up, but he went out helping other people.
He sure did.
And I was like, you know, that is the essence of how you overcome those things, because you say, okay, it's happened. We can't change it. The thing is now, what can we do? And so when I see that, that's kind of the spirit that I pull from these individuals who say, hey, you know what? This is not good, but you're not alone. So when you're talking to your friend, to your neighbor, you just think about the power of presence during a difficult time.
Absolutely. We helped each other tremendously and still continue to do so. Speaking of Montreal, I remember him live, and it wasn't for fame, it wasn't for show, but he was saying, hey, this is how you do it. Here's some instructions. I think I blasted that all over the place, but it was wonderful to see us help each other build our own tables, so therefore we can do things ourselves.
And that's how we know that we can do those things. But to your point, though, you say, okay, well, we have these beautiful things. Well, what are the things to do? And I guess what I look at is saying like, okay, yes, we can say this, but I'm still dealing with the remnants, because now if you had water, I got to wonder, is there mold going to build up in my walls? I don't have the money, and the insurance is not going to do this. I have real life issues. So when we talk about that, I think that's my hardest part, is because you still say we got a problem. And if we're solution focused, say, I know what the solution is, but do we have the resources and the means to do it?
Exactly. If we don't have the money to maybe help each other and help ourselves with going to buy bleach. I remember that week, all of it was gone. Mold still growing in people's basements. What do? People getting sick. Now there's higher hospital bills. People are not being able to taste and they're feeling weak. We also have neighborhoods who, when you go outside, you're so downtrodden because of what you see that has not been resolved. So funding is absolutely still necessary. I've seen FEMA in different places. However, it has been very much so delayed. I've also seen churches that have been helping, which have been just wonderful. Schools, all the above. But just wondering from both of you, what are some of the resources that you have seen help that have actually lasted past the mold, lasted past what we see immediately? And if you've seen these resources in action, where have they been?
Well, I think the first one, what you said, what I would have said is within the church, because you
Right.
see so many different churches come together. And I think that's why they were the pillar of our community so much during the civil rights era. But what I've seen more so than anything is sort of like the Montreal Rashad kind of thing. It's the individual people who said, hey, you know what, cuz I see your basement has got it. We're going to send 3 people over there. So it's not blasted, it's not known, but it's there. But it said, I know you need a little something extra. Let me give you this. So I would love for there to be a better and bigger response from our government, from municipal and statewide personally. But all of the help that I've seen from a personal knowledge has come from loved ones and people who care.
And I have one. I'm thinking about, I don't know if a lot of people thought about how this impacted children.
Mm.
So the children have gone through all this. Then guess what? They got to get up and go to school and perform the way that they were performing before this
Mhm.
crisis happened, right? So I'm thinking about, and I personally know a couple of social workers, a couple of school social workers, that their caseloads have been full because
Yes.
children are traumatized by what took
Oh,
place.
yeah.
They've lost some things. You know how much these children love their tennis shoes,
Oh,
their
yeah.
PlayStations,
Mhm.
you know, their room. They don't have a bed. Some of them don't have
Yes.
beds anymore, and so they go to school, and we want them to again focus, be on their A game in regards to what's happening. But what we found is that the schools, giving shout out to the schools, that they have been providing counseling service for children, because
Mm.
again, we can't ignore that will impact how they perform academically, right?
Absolutely.
So that's one resource that I know is happening. So if in
Yeah.
fact your child has, do we even know that if our children are, suffering from this, and even like allergies, children
Oh,
are
yeah.
coming to school, they're on
Yes.
medicines, they're sick a little bit more.
That mold is for real.
It
Say that
sure
again?
is.
I said the mold is for real.
It sure is.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. So again, what's happening? So I will tell you that I do know that some of the schools are providing additional, not only just nurse services, but then again, counseling services for students as they come in feeling trauma from this horrible event.
That is so good to hear. I
Mhm.
think people don't realize the after effects and how
Yeah.
that can wreak havoc on a child's health,
Yeah.
an adult's health, and a senior's health. I remember living in a place when I lived in Chicago, and I got mold poisoning because they were doing
Mm.
work in the bathroom.
Oh, you did? You personally
Yes,
did?
Yeah.
me
Oh, okay.
personally, and it was a beautiful, beautiful apartment. However, the building was built in 1905.
Yeah.
And so
So it had
behind those walls
asbestos
was
and
mold. Didn't know. So for 2 years, I lost my taste and smell.
oh wow.
My mother had to come and live with me. I couldn't walk from here
Oh wow.
to him for about a month and a half. And I didn't realize what was going on. I would just wake up and my computer would be on the floor. I'd be in my office and I'd be on the floor. I'd cry really hard and go still work because I knew I had to still keep making a living, doing what I had to do. People don't realize that mold poisoning, allergies,
Yes.
diabetes, hypertension, all of those things are affected. But mentally, what does that do to children, families, adults, and seniors, especially if you may have some things going on already?
Mhm.
And if you cannot afford the care mentally, physically, emotionally, that can be an issue.
Absolutely. So I'm
Mhm.
curious. How did you know that's what you were dealing with? Because there may be some folks listening now that they've had some I would say some
Some symptoms.
symptoms
Mhm.
that they don't even know why or what. But what were you experiencing, and how did you know and connect it to mold?
So at first, I'm thinking, oh, I must have the flu.
Oh,
So I'm coughing,
Uh-huh.
but I'm coughing up every single thing you can imagine.
Oh,
And
okay.
it wouldn't stop. It
okay.
was
Listen.
all the
So it's more
time, all
prolonged.
the time, all the time. Like me talking here,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would almost interrupt this whole
Okay.
thing. And so I started going a lot of places because if there was videos or whatever, there I was coughing. Also I had severe headaches, always had migraines. It's a genetic thing,
Mhm.
but these were something to be reckoned with.
Oh,
Like
wow.
someone was squeezing a
Uh,
vice on your head.
yeah.
I would start to eat and I'm like, I can't really taste, but I could taste salt. I could salty, I could taste spicy, and I could taste pepper. So I didn't know what else to do. My appetite had gone away because I
Wow.
wasn't really tasting. So I ate Campbell's chicken noodle soup because
You could
just
taste the
letting you
salt.
know, there's a whole lot of salt in there. And that's all I ate. And I drank water, but you just the phlegm and things that would be coughed up, the weakness and fatigue. I was exhausted. It took me everything to get through a day of work. And many of you might know my schedule is always packed, especially in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to sit and be in the car and I'd wake up and think, where am I? And I fell
Yeah.
asleep for like 15 minutes. It felt like 2 hours. Very much so in a space of just sadness and not knowing what to do. And now I'm
Yeah.
losing weight. And of
Yeah.
course, I'm like, oh, I want to lose some weight, but not to a
Not like
size
that,
4.
not like that, right?
Like
Yeah.
I'm a curvy girl, so
Yeah.
they all went away. And also when it came to just my voice, because my voice is my work,
Yeah.
and it would be so hoarse and it would be gone, and it was all of the mold coming in. So my mom would come to the doctors with me. We were trying to figure out. They gave me allergy tests. Finally, I went to a specialist, and they gave me an allergy test, not only with the pins in your
Oh,
back,
okay. I was gonna say,
but
all those
the
things
blood
pop up.
work.
Oh,
And
the
then they came
blood work.
back and they said, "Hey, do you work on a farm?"
Mm.
I said, "Sir, do I look like I work on the farm?"
You see these nails? You see these nails?
He said, "Do you work in a plant, like, a plant for
A
animals and
factory.
industrial
Okay. Yeah.
factories?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "You have an excessive amount of black industrial mold in your
Oh,
system,
wow.
and I'm not really sure where it's coming from. Anything different happened in your house?" I said, "Well, the landlord did some work in my master bedroom, which is connected to my bedroom, and there's a hole right through.
Mhm.
I mean, things are rusty in there, but I didn't think
Yeah.
anything of it." And he said the spores, they came
Mm.
out, and when it was closed up, because it was open for a
Yeah.
month, when it was closed,
Direct contact. to you,
everything
right?
was there. And so after that, he said, "You have to leave your house."
Oh, wow.
My aunts and uncle lived down the street. My mom was with me. So we went there within 2 days. And mind you, I'm in and out the house every day,
Yeah.
but it's on my clothes, it's in my
And
bed.
you're
Yeah.
sleeping with that
Yeah.
breathing.
So my
Mm.
wonderful Aunt Joy and Uncle Dad Rick was like, "Come on and stay with us for a couple of days." And in 2 to 3 days, I started tasting different. When I was in
Isn't
the
that something?
hospital for those
Mm.
days, I could taste, and my aunt and uncle bring me my favorite chocolate cake. And as soon as I would get back home, it would go away, and then it all added
Okay.
up.
Wow. So, but the point is,
Mhm.
as you are again suffering or dealing with what took place, pay attention to your body. If you're noticing some things that are different, don't ignore them. They're signs. Our bodies are so smart.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're listening to a Dr. Lia Knox on Nyumba Upendo. Hey,
Yes.
come back and join us. WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We'll see you right back.
back. You're listening to the Nyumba Upendo show on 860 AM, and we are excited to have the guest that we're having on today. Well, no, she's not even a guest. She actually is the host today. Well, I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Alisia Moutry. I'm, of course, joined by my brother, Dr. Kweku, and in addition to him, we have the lovely Dr. Lia Knox on. And Lia, we've been talking a little bit about time to heal. We've been knowing that there's been some issues with flooding that happened on August 9th and 10th. And so we've been talking a little bit about that trauma. And, you know, as a part of our show, we always want to just not only just talk about the horrible things that have happened, but we want to dig into other things. But before we get into like some of the strategies and talking about some of the tools, I know we do have a caller on the line. Caller, do you have a question or a comment?
Hello.
Hi there. Do you have a question or a comment? Hi there.
I have a comment. We were talking about how to reduce some of the mold and the different things that we have done that proves and shows that how a family could actually bounce back from that. And we also got the Good Neighbor Grant to Safe and Sound to be able to share with people some of those different things that they may need.
So if somebody is dealing with mold in their house right now, what would be some of the first strategies that you could tell them that they could be able to do?
First and foremost, importantly, hydrogen peroxide. It is something lost that most people don't realize that they can do. Everybody can't use bleach.
Yeah.
And if you want to go to a more natural method, you can also use lemon and orange, which will reduce that mold buildup. But I recommend hydrogen peroxide because myself and my husband Jarvis, we actually, and a whole team of our Amani youth, went out and cleaned our basements for free for people. And one of the things is one gentleman, he had his military equipment down there. He had his stars. He had did so much for the community. And his daughter called and said, well, can you come and help us? So it was like, most definitely. Okay. And they were like, well, they're sensitive to bleach. No problem. Hydrogen peroxide. Because again, you have something that will eat away the mold down to the structure, the cell structure. It disintegrates it entirely and will not grow back. And not only you can go back to their house and check and you'll see like, wow, most people don't even realize that they can use that. The same way hydrogen peroxide breaks down the blood from the cellular level when you're cleaning up different cells within a hospital.
So are you go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so one of the things, we have an event coming up November 18th through December 3rd. And we actually show people how to survive if those natural disasters happen. Like right now,
how much do it cost to attend?
It's free. It's going to be.
That's what we'd like to hear. So say that again, Queen.
It's free. It's going to be on 21st and Minotee. We got a grant from Safe and Sound, the Good Neighbor Grant, which is going on now. So anybody that's looking to get help with doing block parties, community events that will benefit their community, they can reach out to Safe and Sound for the Good Neighbor Grant. So what we do, we have tents, heated tents, that we show people how to survive if there's ever a winter issue and your heat goes out, how they can use hand sanitizer, not only just if their gas lights go out, how they can use that to cook with, how to stay warm with. We show homeless population individuals how they can keep their area warm without burning it down. Right. We also show not only just those survival tips and methods. If you own your property, and right now from that flood on August 9th, people who were staying in the hotel have already almost maxed, almost close to $20,000, especially if you have more than 3 children.
All right, sis, I hate to interrupt, but I do have one quick question for you because we got to move on to a couple of other things. But you mentioned, this is just for our callers here today that are listening. You mentioned about the peroxide and the lemon and the orange. Can you just lastly, just if I wanted to do that today, what does that look like? Am I taking peroxide from the bottle, putting it on the towel? Can you just really quickly describe how I would use the peroxide, how I would use the lemon and the orange?
What you're going to do, you're going to get the peroxide. It's already in the squirt bottle.
Okay.
You open the squirt bottle up and you just run it along exactly where your mold is.
Okay.
Run it up at least an inch above where the mold is, so then when it starts rolling down, it's going to eat everything within that structure. you don't want, and you want to make sure you got your glove on, your
Okay.
mask on. Make sure you got your glove and mask on, because when it starts breaking it down, it doesn't become airborne. It eats it away to its actual cell, all the way down to its nucleus. The other benefit is for people who are completely sensitive. One of the other main cleaners, again, is lemon and orange. Those citruses, those acids break down naturally. It takes a little bit more of time, but it does break down things naturally.
And is that doing the same thing? Is that just juicing the
That's
lemon and
doing the
orange
same
and pouring
thing.
it the same and be squirting bottle the same thing?
Spraying it, and spraying it directly on those sites. Not only will you notice within that first couple of days that not only ate away the mold, you're going to see it's not going to grow back. When it happened to our basement, one of the things people were trying to figure out is, how did you get it so clean?
Okay.
I tell them this hydrogen peroxide. So when we were going out to do that with other families and other individuals, there are amazing ways that you can do it. The same other thing is hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is a known, you can use that, or you can use witch hazel. Either of those things work really well. Most people gravitate to bleach because that's what they were raised off of.
Right.
And you want to be able to, because the people who have respiratory tract issues should not be around strong levels of bleach.
All right, so now I just want to close this up. Last part. So I'm spraying the peroxide about an inch above where it is. It dries. It starts to pull the mold out of the wall. Do I do anything else, or after I do that, it's over?
No,
I just need to close this up.
Once all of that is done, it's going to soak down to the bottom of wherever your floor is.
Okay.
You can wait a day and go back over it again with another container of peroxide, and you're good to go.
See, that's what I love. I love it. Thank you
that's
for
what God is.
Yeah,
God is just like
thank you so much for bringing the resources to the community.
Hey, how are you?
This is Crystal, and I work with Erica St. Clair and some other programs throughout the city.
Hello.
I'm Amani. Yep, I'm Amani United Economic and Housing Chair.
Hi, Crystal. Good talking with you. And tell the crew we said hello.
You know what? But that's just what I love, though, because you had asked before, like, what are some of the things that the community was doing and whatnot? And there's so many things you don't hear. And I always love to hear the word free. You know, whenever somebody is doing something, they say, hey, we got a service for you. And whether it's through a grant or just through their own largesse, they say, we want to be able to get this to you so you can have this. So just I don't know. I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, to not only her, but everybody of that same ilk that goes out to help others.
I learned a little something.
I did.
You didn't know anything
either.
You know, it's always nice. So because we got to do something, and here's some remedies.
The community in the village.
That's and I love that.
And let me tell the community something I didn't know, because I was trying to clean one time, and I was mixing ammonia and bleach. Yeah. I didn't know, and I want to make sure
was
that
with you on that.
He was trying to blow up.
Listen, I'm telling you, I was cleaning the bathroom, and I was like, I feel like I'm dying. I put it up and I went to go lay down, and I was just like, Lord, let me wake up. And then I came and I was telling people, it was like, fool.
I was dying, bro.
Nobody ever told me. Don't mix ammonia and bleach when you're trying to do that deep clean. Because I'm thinking I'm going to get it clean. Yeah. And I was a grown man. It wasn't even like no little boy. So
you was on your way to see the Lord.
Yeah, I was up Hey, I just wanted to put that PSA out there for you.
Ooh, thank goodness you stopped.
Yes.
Boy, I tell you. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm loving the conversation. I'm thankful to the caller as well, just again, because we're always looking for tips and strategies on what we could do. And that's a pretty low economical way of trying to do that, right? One way, right? So we appreciate that. But we got Dr. Lia Knox here, and she is coming with a lot of information. And one of the things we talk about, as we've suffered from this, we suffer from it physically, but we also suffer from it mentally. And I know you've got these 6 tools of healing, because there are folks that have gone through this, not only personally, but sometimes just, based upon relatives going through it. What are, if you don't mind expressing, what are those 6 tools of healing?
Absolutely. And we'll dive in more about this, but we have to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
I learned from my wonderful mentor, Dawn Shelton Williams, who, by the way, just won a Lifetime Achievement Award in social work. She taught me so much. And the one thing she says is, if you cannot do what you need to do for yourself, there's no way that you can help anyone else. So those
say that
again. Say that one again. Say that one more time.
Sister Dawn Shelton Williams, come on.
If you cannot do for yourself, how are you going to do anything for anyone else? I think on a weekly basis, she calls me and she says, okay, now, sis, slow down. I see you out there. And I believe she's on my social media, which is fine. However, there are some things that we need to do for ourselves, which in turn will help our community. So the 6 tools I have, number 1, prayer. Be prayerful, and it will contribute greatly to your peace, and you protect your peace. Number 2, breathe. I've been on the show several times, and there's a breathing technique that I can teach you quickly, and we'll get into that in a moment. Slow down. Slow it down. You cannot possibly get everything done in a weekend. I don't care what it is, whether it's a natural disaster, whether it's, oh, I have to clean my room. Slow down. Who are you rushing for? Also, team up. Make sure that you team up with your community, your family, your friends. I know some of us don't want to be a burden, or we don't want to ask for help. Please do not let that get in the way of you being able to bless someone else by helping you. One thing a day. Name it, and one thing a day. Also, when you name what's going on with you, now you have the road to go where you need to go. Because if you don't know, you're all over the place. And finally, reach out to someone. Reach out to a mental health professional. Reach out to your pastor. Reach out to your friend. Reach out to a teacher. You have to be able to reach out, because if you are not asking for help, how is anyone supposed to know that you need it?
I see, that's powerful. And I know you talked about like all of these measures. The one that stuck out to me though was team up.
Yes.
I think it is just like even that, like we heard from the caller, we talked about like the Montreals, the Rashads, and the Aziz Abdullahs of the world, like the people who go out and do these things. It's going to take all of us. And I think sometimes, especially for people who are used to helping, it's hard to ask for help.
Yes.
And so you said you block their blessings by saying, no, I'm okay, I'm good. And I think there's just a power in unity. There's a power in numbers. So for everybody listening, saying, I can do this by myself. But if there's somebody who's there to willing to help you and who loves you and has the care and compassion, receive that help.
Exactly.
Well, there was one that stuck out for me, and it stuck out real hard. It hit me real hard, and it was the slow down. Yeah, just slow down. Because when you slow down, you can take in a little bit more. I'm thinking about when you talked about that slow down, right away, my mind is thinking about making decisions. When you're trying to get some things off of your plate, you're quick to make decisions, right?
Yeah.
Slow it down, Dr. Moutry. When I've got all these different tasks on my plate, I'm trying to get as many done as I can. Slow it down, Dr. Moutry. So the slow it down was one that really hit me hard. And I don't even know if you know this. When I came in this morning, you just asked me a simple question. You said, how you doing? I said, well, I got a lot of stuff going on. And right away, you know what you said to me? You said, just take it easy. What are you doing for yourself? So that was just one of those, just slow it down. I'm trying to think about all these different things I've got going on. But you just said a quick comment that made me slow down to say, you know what, you're right. I can't take care of other people. I can't take care of these tasks if I'm not slowing down to take care of Dr. Moutry. So thank you for that. You just did it so naturally. You did it so naturally, because I had a lot going on this morning. I still got a lot going on, but you put me in that moment just to say, pause, slow down. What are you doing for you? And that just made me think, oh yeah, you're right.
Thank you. Yeah. And in that same discussion, you made me slow down, because you're like, and what about you?
I did.
And I breathed in.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, absolutely. And when you spoke about, accepting help, I was talking to my friend this morning, Chris Crane, if anyone knows Chris Crane, wonderful musician here. And we were talking about how much we had going on, and we were excited, and we generally will throw ideas off of each other. And the one thing we talked about was asking for help. And he asked, where are you on that journey? I said, I'm still trying. I said, I'm doing pretty good, but I've become a person who now can be a bit more vulnerable, can be more trusting, can ask for help. And it has blessed me 3 times fold. I was always one that wanted to do it myself. Even in a situation like this, I'll do it myself. I'll clean up. I'll make sure I'm okay, which is the reason probably why I was sick for so long, because I was trying to do it myself. But also that prayer. Yeah. The one that always stands out to me is prayer. I don't care how many questions I ask of God. Me and him go together. We be fighting. We love all the things, but that prayer so helps. And if you don't have the words, just one word, help me. Yeah. Help me. And that peace, protecting your peace. Say no. You can say yes to teamwork and making sure all those things are okay. But at times you can sit down, and the number one person we need to tell no to is ourselves.
November is November. Get
Get
a little vitamin N in your life. Ask me a
Right.
question, Jermaine. No. No.
You practicing? You gonna practice it real fast? He was getting ready to ask you too.
Hey, but I got one thing because you kind of put a teaser out there, then you pulled it back. Now, one of the ones you said was breathing.
Yes.
Now, I know this is radio and it's kind of hard to do in certain things.
Oh, I
but
can rock it.
I want you to give us that example.
I'm ready.
To be able to breathe and to be able to, how can we slow down in the moment? Sometimes you ain't got 2 hours, but you got a few moments.
You have a free moment or free second. So everybody, Milwaukee, my community, sit back in your chairs or lay down in your bed. Do not cross your legs. Put both legs down. Put your back up against the chair. Close your eyes if you feel safe. This is called diaphragmatic breathing, and it helps oxygen go to your brain, cortisol come out of that diaphragmatic area in your stomach and release. So what you would do is you would breathe in through your nose, slowly out through your mouth. As you're blowing out a candle, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. You can slowly open your eyes. When you do it more than 5 or 6 times, some people may feel lightheaded because, oh my God, I got oxygen in my brain. I don't know what to do. Some people may feel a little dizzy. Others may yawn because you have oxygen that is now in your body. When you are able to breathe that way, there is a negative hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is in your diaphragm, which I don't know if you can see me here, but in your stomach area. And so we have trauma responses, fights, where we fight, we get angry, flight, where we run away from the issue, freeze, we don't know what to do, so we stand still and do nothing, fawn, where we just cower and say, okay, whatever you want. And lastly, flop, you just pass out. I'm done. So with that breathing, it will absolutely help those trauma responses to decrease so that you're able to control them. And it also does a wonderful job on effectively maintaining and managing blood pressure, glucose levels, weight, because that's where it's stored. Your stomach, cortisol. That's where the stomach and the belly fat comes from. So do that exercise as often as you can, and it absolutely does help with insomnia.
And see, I love that because it's something that's quick and simple. Even if you drive, and I hope you can close your eyes, but you can do the breathing, and you can, because a lot of the times when people would be hyperventilating or stressing out, what is it? It's an excessive heartbeat. And by doing that, what you're actually doing is you're controlling your heart rate, you're controlling your breathing. And the opposite of fight and flight is what we call rest and digest.
Yes.
And when you breathe it, you move that sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system over from fight and flight to rest and digest, and that's when you can do all of the things that you need to do. So I'd like to thank you for putting us back in rest and digest.
Right. No, I love it. And because it makes you slow down, but it also gives you an opportunity to think.
Yes.
Like while you're doing it, you get a chance to think. And it led me to one of the things you had within your tools. You said something that you said, name what's going on. Mm-hmm. So when you can stop and think like that, you can understand and really know what's going on. Because if you don't know what's going on, how are others supposed to know what's going on? But actually what I got from you today, just to be able to name what's happening with you. I'm feeling exhaustion.
Yes.
Or I feel disrespected. Really put a name to whatever's going on. Even from this flood, I'm feeling, targeted. What is that word? But again, doing this activity just made me think about that. Just saying, we really got to be able to know. We all know we're going through some things, right? Mm-hmm. But can you actually put a name to it? How are you feeling? Put a name to it and just call it out there. So then when you're trying to seek help, people know where they could maybe support you at.
Thank you. And that is so true. I know my mom, Dr. Lia Knox, most of you know her somewhere around. Everybody loves her. She's so wonderful because she'll call and be like, you know what, Lily, I'm feeling. And I'm like, okay, stop. Because she's talking to you and she's telling you how she's feeling, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. And I'm really feeling some type of way. And this is what it is. So she uses her words, which I've learned to do very well. But everyone listening out there, if there are things that you do that will help calm your nerves, that will help get you through grief and loss, because losing lots of things is also a part of grief and loss. If you've lost anybody during this time of the flooding and things, please call in. What are some things that you do that help you mentally and emotionally? Because it starts there.
Yeah, when I think about like that grief and loss, most of the time we think about people.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, okay, I might not have lost any people, but let's say I lost somebody, and then that was my photo album with the last of my pictures of them.
Yes.
And so you think about the things that you lost that you say, I can't get this back. And so when we started to talk about that, are you familiar with like ACT, the act and acceptance and commitment theory?
Yes.
Is okay. Well, I'm a pause on that. I think we got a caller on the line. We
Oh,
gotta
okay.
take a
We gotta
break.
It's time
Oh,
already.
okay.
Man, y'all going hard today. Jesus.
It slipped past all of us.
They're going in.
See, that's why you need a producer to let you know to say, hey, listen, we're gonna be back, but we're gonna keep this conversation going on about a time to heal. So WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You're listening to Nyumba Upendo. To the Nyumba Upendo show. You know we only on for an hour, and this hour has flown by. I just like to thank Dr. Lia Knox for blessing us with all this information about how do we heal from not only, all tragedies, but something specific that we can name. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff that's on your mind that you went through, but what is something that you want to leave the people with from the information we covered today?
What I want to leave Milwaukee with is I know it feels like one storm after another. Floods, funding cuts, and frustration, but we are still here.
We still here.
And we're still standing strong. Healing doesn't mean pretending everything's okay. It means being real, being gentle with ourselves, and being able to name it.
That's rich.
I said earlier, there are signs and there are trauma responses. I received several texts, including Nashonda Brown from St. Louis, thank you, girl, who said, hey, can you please repeat these symptoms? Fight, flight, freeze, fawn, flop. Please try to remember those and how they feel in your bodies.
Define those real quick, too.
Absolutely. Fight. I am going to fight my way out of this. I'm angry and I'm just with it. When you think of freeze, I stand still. I don't know what to do. And many times I don't do anything. Yes. Flight. Ooh, I'm out of here. I'm avoiding. I don't want anything to do with this. You know what? I'm running from my own self.
She's a track star.
There we got. We have fawn. Okay, whatever you say, whatever you do. Yeah, that's fine. Cower down. And then flop. I just pass out. I literally physically am overwhelmed, exhausted, overcome with whatever it is, and I'm on the floor practically. System shut down. So with that being said, you got this, Milwaukee. You got this. Remember that even with limited resources, please know that you have an abundance within your community. Even when you think that you can't do it, you absolutely can. And this in our community soon will pass.
I was just thinking about all of the things we did. Then we had a caller come in and say, hey, we got some tips for you there.
Yes.
So understand one of your qualities was like, ask for help. You never know where that help might be coming from. Dr.
Just
Moutry,
pay attention. Actually,
last words.
listen, just pay attention to your body. Again, signs are given. I believe that our bodies are designed well, and we have to listen to them, right? So all I can say is, guess what, Milwaukee? We love you. We thank you so much, Dr. Lia Knox. Dr. Kweku, we know we couldn't do without you.
Next time we see you, we're going to see you live.
I know they better come see us at Thrive On November 12th, 7 to 12.
That's
come and see us at Thrive On.
Nyumba Upendo.
You're listening to Nyumba Upendo, and we just thank you, Milwaukee. And you know what? We love you.